Oh, hello there, friends and family. I didn't see you walk up the driveway. Well, you caught me outside again. Over here at the south side garden bed. Beside the driveway. And we're going to be doing something today. And hey, since you all showed up, let me show you what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be using. Because I talk about it a lot in our garden walkabouts. So let me show you what we got going on and why. Well, here we are at one of our yellow crookneck squash plants. And I think it's quite obvious to see the whitish gray that is spotting all these leaves on the top side. But it's even more ominous when we look under the flip side. Yep, the bottom of the leaves. And what is this that we're looking at? Well, this is powdery mildew. And it will eventually cover this entire squash plant and will lead to the leaves dying and eventually the death of the plant. And what do I use to control it? Well, I use something that's very cheap, readily available almost everywhere. And it's still cheap, so let's keep it a secret, okay? Let me show you what I use and what I talk about all the time for not only powdery mildew, but a wide variety of bacterial, fungal, diseases, and even viruses. And what might that be? Well, you can see it over here. What we're going to be using today, and what we always use, and it doesn't matter about the brand, that's not important. What is important, and this is the Equate brand, from Walmart. The important part is that it's 3% hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, that same antiseptic your mother, your father, maybe your grandmother and great-grands would squirt on you when you got a cut. Then you'd watch it all bubble up. Yeah, same stuff. And I purchased these a month or so back. These are the 16 fluid ounce, 1 pint. Normally I get the 32, 1 quart, but they were out. And this was 62 cents for this 16 fluid ounces. It's probably more now, considering inflation. But still, it's darn cheap for getting rid of this particular fungal disease. We'll also be using a dishwashing soap. You could use Dawn, you could use AJ, you could use whatever you want. You could use Castile. I prefer Ivory. Yep. And what we're using that for is just basically a surfactant. Yeah. To break the surface tension or the tension in water. Rather than having droplets, it'll be more of a consistent, smooth coating of the hydrogen peroxide and water with just a touch of soap. If you got one, get a measuring cup, especially for larger quantities. If not, you can use a tablespoon. That's what I did for years until I thought, hey, it'd be much more easier and convenient if I just remembered how many tablespoons per ounce. And if you don't know that, 1 tablespoon equals a half ounce. Okay? Just remember that. 1 tablespoon, 1/2 ounce. And the formula for this is simple. We're going to be using 12 tablespoons of 3% hydrogen peroxide, okay, to 1 gallon of water with just a squirt of Ivory. Now, to make it just a little more complicated, we're going to be using our little groundwork half-gallon sprayer. So we'll have to cut that back to 6 tablespoons per 1/2 gallon. Okay? You got all that? Yeah, I know. It's arithmetic, mathematics. Sometimes it can be difficult. Anyway, we'll show you how to do it. So we got all of our stuff together. We got our hose. We're ready to go. So remember, we're going to be using a 1/2 gallon spray. Therefore, we're going to have to cut our formula in half. And the formula is, for the hydrogen peroxide spray, 12 tablespoons per 1 gallon of water with a smidge of soap. Your choice. Ivory, Dawn, Palm Olive, Castile, you name it, it'll all work. When I mean a smidge, just a touch, I'll show you. And here again, the main star of the show is the 3% hydrogen peroxide. And we'll be using 6 tablespoons per 1/2 gallon. So what will that be in ounces in our measuring cup? That will be 3 liquid ounces. And it don't have a 3 on it. It's got a 2 and a 4. So we'll sort of have to, cut the middle. But what's important is, if we get a little more, it ain't gonna hurt. Trust me, I done tested it. It'll be okay. So, we'll open up our hydrogen peroxide. Hopefully we won't spill much of it. And we'll pour it in our little Pyrex cup till, we get 3 ounces or a touch more. This isn't something that, even if I put 4 ounces, it wouldn't be death to my plants. Because I've tested up as high as 16 tablespoons per gallon with no ill results. We're just going to pour that right on in there. Right in the sprayer, just like that. Now, if you don't got a measuring cup, you could have used your tablespoon. Lord knows, I did that for years until I got smart and figured out that it was 2 tablespoons per fluid ounce. That made it all the easier, especially on the bigger sprayers. The 2, the 3, and the 5 gallon sprayers. Now that cup comes in real handy then. But for the little one, 1/2 gallon or a gallon, if all you got is a tablespoon, that'll work too. Now we're not going to put the ivory in right now, because if we do, this is going to suds up when we hit it with the water, and the suds are just going to continue to spew out, making it difficult to fill the sprayer. So all you have to do now is add water. And there we have it. See, this ain't hard. You just watch it coming up the side, which is hard to do in these little white sprayers on a highly overcast day. I can see it, maybe you can too. And we got the hose turned down. That way, it doesn't make a big mess. It wouldn't take no time to fill up this little 1/2 gallon. So there we have it. Now we have the water in. And you might notice there are some suds because we have used this sprayer before for this same mixture. Now, we're going to add just a touch. See, don't take much. Maybe count it in drops. I've said a 1/16 of a teaspoon before for a gallon, but that's a little tad much too. You can see what I did. It was just a smidge. Whatever a smidge is. So we'll screw back on the top, and then we'll give it a vigorous shaking. Shake, shake, shake your booty. Shake, shake, shake your booty. And we got her shaked up. Now we're going to pump it up. And once it's pumped up, we will start the application. So, we'll be back. So yes, a lot of these leaves are infected. And some just ain't going to make the trip. Yep, like that one right there. See? What we're going to be doing, pardon me as I hold y'all, is we're going to trim out these ones that went just a little bit too far gone. They're done past. They're prime. We're just going to trim them off close to the vine. And something I want you to notice, so when you're spraying, you can see that powdery mildews on the stems too. So not only are we going to spray the underside, the top side, but the stems as well, and the surrounding ground. Because when it ain't on the plants, it's on your mulch and soil. That's where it comes from. Okay? So we're trimming those off right now. And don't be bashful. It will be okay. I've been trimming these squash plants now since May. So there. Now we're going to keep the rest of the leaves that don't look so bad, okay? So, we've got it pumped up. We've got it shaken up. You can see the suds inside. Now we're ready to spray. And you just need a fine mist covering all of the top of the leaf till it just runs off. You see that? And doing the top side's easy, right? No problem. Doing the underside takes a little bit of doing. So now you have to flip your leaves over carefully and spray them as well. Make sure you're getting those stems too. Any that you leave will keep infecting your plant. So as you can see, there we have it. Or maybe you couldn't see, because I couldn't hold y'all and spray the underside of the leaves, could I? You see, I only got two hands. One for the sprayer, one to do the flip. But it's extremely important to get the underside thoroughly. And if you ever spray without the dish detergent or soap of your choice, you'll notice the hydrogen peroxide in water tends to bubble up. But now you'll see it's just a slick coating. That's because the soap breaks the surface tension of the water. It acts as what I believe they call a surfactant. And then you get this nice, even, wettable coating. And that is far more effective than if I hadn't have used it in the first place. But that's just how simple it is. And you can get it on you. It ain't gonna cause you no problem. In fact, it's gonna disinfect you too. If you got a little cut or bump or something, you'll see some fizzing going on. It ain't gonna hurt you one bit. And you might wonder, well, this ain't organic. Well, if you do some in-depth research, you will find hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, that's 2 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms, one more than water, remember, H2O, occurring in nature. Yeah, it also occurs in us. So even though for whatever reasons the powers that be have never certified it organic, I would think it is. And I'm good with it. And not only can you use it for the powdery mildew, you've seen me use it for tomato blight, Spatoria leaf spot. Yeah, because indeed it is a bactericide, an antifungal. Yeah, it's an antiseptic, and still a very economical one. I checked today, and it's still 62 cents for 16 fluid ounces, and $1 for the 32 if you can find it. But like I'm saying, make sure you thoroughly get your underside until it's dripping off, your top side, and your stems. Otherwise, it's just going to proliferate again. Of course, but then, what you got to understand too, is in high humidity environments, off and on rain, like what we're having right now, of course we always have the high humidity here in the deep south, powdery mildew is a constant plague this time of the year. And this will kill it. Will it reoccur? You betcha. So respray is definitely something you've got to keep up with. And for me, that's about every 3 to 4 days. It's time consuming. It takes due diligence. But if you ever wondered how the little old man, Mr. Tom, gets his garden through some of the toughest gardening years, now albeit it ain't much, and I've grown way more, this is how I go about it. One of the many ways. But if I only did it once and wanted to say one and done, that ain't happening. And even if I was to use a commercial fungicide, yeah, purely synthetic, there's no such thing as one and done. But I thought I'd share just how I go about using my hydrogen peroxide, magic sauce as I often call it, on one of the plagues of the growing season, and that's powdery mildew. It works for a lot of different bacterial and fungal diseases. Can't stress it enough. Something you should do though is always test spray your plants. I know it works on what I grow, and at the very best, even when I bump it up to 16 tablespoons per gallon, which I have at times depending on the severity of what I'm treating, like blight, I always have tested in the past to make sure it won't kill the leaves. It may discolor them a little bit, but I'm good with that. I just don't want to kill the plant. So my recommendation is do a test spray on a leaf or two. Wait. If you see no signs of any irreparable damage, continue on. Now I've used hydrogen peroxide spray on squashes, on all my tomatoes, on my beans, my melons, yeah, all types of squash, pumpkins, butternuts, acorns, zucchini, yellow crookneck, yeah, no adverse reactions. Also my peppers. We've got one more yellow crookneck squash to treat, and it's right over here for the same reason. And you can see it's not as bad, but it's starting. Yep, powdery mildew doesn't jump from one plant to the other. So we'll give this one a spray today too. Looks like we might actually have some sunshine peeking out from time to time. Hey, it's a lovely time to be alive. So y'all, there you have it. That's how easy it is to do. Just remember, it's 12 tablespoons per gallon of water with an 1/8, maybe only a 1/16. It don't take much soap. Yeah, use organic if you wish, or use your favorite, Dawn, Ajax, Palmolive, Ivory, what have you. I've used it all at one point in time with no adverse effects that I could see. And if you go all the way back through and see my gardening videos from 2018 on, you know what I've done today works. So whether you wish to or don't wish to, I hope you will try it and save your garden for the remainder of the season too. Okay? So I got more spraying to do, and I got picking, and I got tying up. So until the kitty crew, Cleo, Spooky Speedy, Mr. Gray, and Magoo, sometimes Heathcliff, Little Gracie, and Lily Bit too. See you on that next video. Y'all take care, stay safe, and God bless you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. I got to get with it, okay? I surely wish the kitty crew would help me. You know, Cleo, you can help anytime you want to. I'm just saying. You know, you just don't got to eat, sleep. You do follow Papa around and supervise. Don't you, baby? Come on over here and check out things. Make sure we're doing it right, okay? You know your Papa loves you. Appreciate you being with me, Cleo.